All right, so I just want to show a couple of parts of the calculator that are helpful for us to use. Firstly, I want us to look at equation mode. All right, so equation mode, which on mine it's that orange one, option A, in equation mode. Now, one area that can be helpful on this, all right. So say you've got, I mean, this is really basic, but say you've got like 3x plus 10 equals 105, okay, and you want to double check your work, you go to F3, which is solver. F3 for solver. Hands up if you know this feature of your calculator. Some people, there's a few. You can type it in here, 3x plus 10 shift equals 105. Type it in, press enter, press solve. X is equal to 31.667. So it actually solves that equation for us. Okay. Great way in a test to like check your work, basically. All right. If you're solving it algebraically, you've still got to do the process, like if that's the method. But here basically is a way for you to check it. And like that's actually done. Yeah.
I think the equal sign in without it like.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah, I think
You see how equals is the yellow one above the period? So you got to go shift and then full stop. I'm sorry, you're right. That's equation, and then it's called solver. The equation solver. Okay. The next one that I want to show us is if we have, let's just clear the screen here. Clear canvas. If we have two equations that are in this form, what type of form have I just written things in here? Gradient intercept form. Yeah, we've done it in gradient intercept form. Okay. Both equations are in gradient intercept form. How can we use technology to solve that? You can't? You can? How did we do this the other day? Yeah.
Oh, well, I was going to say, don't they both equal y? So would they be equal to each other?
They are. If we were, that's the substitution method. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the substitution method.
Don't you rearrange in the general form because when you go to simultaneous in the equation part, it only works in general form.
Good. There is one feature which needs it to be in general form. You're right. You could rearrange that to being in general form and use that. That's right. You could definitely do that. And we'll have a look at that in just a moment. If they were just in this form here, the best way on your calculator to solve it without doing any rearranging is graph mode. So on your graph mode there, I would just type them both in. 10. Remember the X is under the alpha. The biggest mistake often is just the plus 25 and the Y is 3X plus 20. All right. We draw them both. Now remember when you draw it today, you're going to have lots of practice at rearranging your graph so you can see it. I always try Zoom Auto first. That's my first go-to. And then where those two meet, you go G-solve intersection. And then it gives us our answer. Wow, that's a horrible decimal answer. All right, X is equal to, what was it, 0.714. And Y is equal to 17.857. Wow, a decimal answer like that looks like a score that a judge would give at the Winter Olympics. Hey, so there we go. So if they're both in gradient intercept form, we can use that. Okay. Feature. What about if they weren't in gradient intercept form? Let's just clear that. What's the other form that we've been looking at? Not gradient intercept form. The other one's called general form. All right, 15x plus 6y equals 88. And 18x plus 8y equals 88. Okay, here we go. They're both in general form. On your calculator, if we exit all the way out to the menu, the equation section of your calculator has a super easy way of solving things in general form. You may have used this before. We go into equation, and where do we go next? Simultaneous, good. And then we go, how many unknowns? There are 2 unknowns. And see this here, this table, well, it's actually a matrix. See, AX plus BY equals C. Do you remember this? 15, 6. Now, you just got to make sure you put the negatives in if there are any. 18, 8, 88. And then we hit solve. Once we've typed it all in, double check it. Best thing to do at that point is just to do a quick double check. Solve. There we go. There's our answers. X is equal to 44 over 3. And Y is equal to, super easy. All right. Happy days like that? Can I just take us up one little level? Are you okay just to be stretched? Are you okay for your brain just to be stretched just a little bit? Can I throw us a what if? What if we were trying to solve simultaneously something like this, minus 2x plus y equals 100 and y equals 4x, take 20. What if one of them is in general form and one of them is in gradient intercept form? How do we solve that using technology? Rearrange one of them. Good. Well done. You've got to rearrange one of them. You've got to do a little bit of algebra here. Does it matter which way you rearrange it? No. If it was me personally, which way would I go? Well, out of those 2 methods, which way seems simpler to solve it on the calculator? Gradient intercept form? Why do you like that method?
Because you just type it, just put it in the graphing thing. It's easier.
Great. So go with your strength there. All right, go with your strength. If you would prefer to do it in the general form, rearrange one of them to be in general form. But we're going to have the top one to be y equals 100 plus 2x. That's the rearranged. And then you just type both of those into your graph mode. Graph it. Do it there. So these questions that we're going to do today in 1C.1 and 1C.2 are using what we've just done on the board there. We're developing our technology skills today and all that sort of stuff. Happy days? So let's get into it. Let's do it. Ask questions as you go.